There are moments in life when the silence grows louder than words, when the waiting stretches so long it feels like exile. But what if the silence is not absence, but preparation? What if every closed door, every unanswered prayer, every delay was the gentle turning of a page in a divine manuscript, written long before you ever took your first breath? We think we are wandering, when in truth, we are being woven. You are not lost. You are being positioned. You are not forgotten. You are being refined. The longing in your heart is not a weakness. It is a compass, pointing you toward what was always destined. Marriage, relocation, union, purpose. It is not randomness, but rhythm. Not coincidence, but covenant. And somewhere, right now, your partner is being prepared with the same sacred care. You are not two stories. You are one song. Because in the symphony of God, even the rests are music. You've wondered why it's taken so long. You've cried in the quiet places, asking heaven if you've been overlooked. You've watched others find love, build homes, pack bags, move forward. And still you waited, not just for love, for where you trust, but for movement, for something to shift in the invisible realm. And maybe you began to believe that your promise had expired, that somehow you missed the window. But hear me clearly. God does not forget what he has spoken. He is not a man that he should lie, nor the Son of Man that he should change his mind. What he has declared over your life is still echoing in eternity, even when earth has grown silent. The silence you've endured was not punishment. It was preparation. What you mistook as an activity was actually the most intense part of the process. Think of the seed buried underground. There is no light, no applause, no visible sign of growth. Yet beneath the soil, something sacred is happening. Roots are forming. Identity is anchoring. And in time, that seed doesn't just grow. It breaks through. And so will you. Every moment of stillness was sanctified. The delays you resented were delays of mercy. Had you walked into that relationship too soon? Had you relocated before your roots were deep enough? It would have undone what God was so tenderly forming in you. Because he's not just preparing you to get married. He's preparing you to carry covenant. And covenant requires capacity, you see. Divine timing isn't just about dates on a calendar. It's about the alignment of heaven and earth. It's about who you're becoming when no one's watching. Shows you where you trust. It's about who your partner is becoming as they walk through their own sacred wilderness. You are not the only one being prepared. Somewhere, right now, someone is asking God the same questions you've whispered through tears. And in the silence, God is speaking to both of you, not with noise, but with shaping, with refinement, with purpose. We are so often in a rush to be seen, to arrive, to have what we long for. But God is a God of process. He is the potter, and we are the clay. He doesn't rush his work. He doesn't release what he has ordained until it can bear the weight of glory. So don't curse the silence. Bless it. Because it has carved out room in you for what's coming. It has emptied you of the counterfeit, the distractions, the things that look like love but lack the breath of God. Some of you were withheld from wrong doors because your heart was too precious to be handed to someone who couldn't see its worth. Some of you were delayed in places you outgrew because the next place would require a version of you that had to be born in fire. So, yes, it took time. But heaven was never late. It was always orchestrating, always watching over the word, always aligning. This next season, this marriage, this relocation, it will not be birthed out of striving. It will flow like a river, because it was never yours to manufacture. It was only yours to trust for. And trust is the highest form of worship. Trust says, even when I see nothing, I know something is coming. Trust says, even when I hear silence, I know God is speaking louder than ever. You may feel like you're at the end of yourself, but that is often where heaven begins. When your hands are empty, God can finally place something eternal in them. When your plans fall apart, His plans unfold. You're not being punished. You're being positioned. The season that looked like nothing was actually everything. And now the page is turning. It's not just a new chapter. It's a new scroll, written in advance, sealed with purpose. And the next line has already been written. You are getting married and relocating. Not by accident, not by luck, but by divine appointment. And when you see it, you'll know. Not because it looks familiar, but because it feels like home in your spirit. So hold your peace, child of promise. Let the silence finish its work. Let the oil of preparation soak every part of you. Because what's next is not random. It's sacred. What's next is not delayed. It's delivered. And when it arrives, where you trust, you won't just recognize it. You'll realize it was always waiting for you too. There is a mystery in how heaven writes stories, how it composes lives to fit together, not through chance, but through choreography. A movement here, a delay there, a closed door in one season, a divine encounter in the next. We think we're wandering, but we're being aligned. And this is what many have yet to understand. What God joins, He prepares. What He orders, He orchestrates. Your partner is not being randomly selected. They are being revealed. There is someone whose life has been walking a path parallel to yours, marked by trials that mirror your own, longings that echo yours in secret. Someone whose tears watered the same prayers you've prayed in isolation. And all the while, God has been weaving a connection you could not see, but heaven has always known. This is not a matter of preference. It is a matter of prophecy. You are not looking for someone to complete you. Where you trust, you are about to recognize the one who was written into your assignment before time began. Heaven matches what earth can't see. The world says compatibility is found in shared interests, looks, status. But heaven says it's found in shared calling, in the fire of obedience, in the quiet resonance of two spirits designed to recognize each other not by sight, but by spirit. When this person steps into your life, something will awaken. Not a rush of emotion, but a stillness, a knowing. You won't need a sign in the sky, because your soul will confirm what your eyes cannot fully explain. Your connection will not be driven by chaos or confusion. It will be marked by clarity, peace, alignment. Shows you where you trust, not because there won't be challenges, but because there will be a sacred rhythm that even the storms can't break. This is what it means when we say heaven matches what earth can't see. Because what looks ordinary to others will be holy to you. What others miss, you will discern. And don't underestimate the battles your partner has fought to get to this place. Just as you've had to wrestle with doubt, surrender idols, and unlearn false love, so have they. God has been refining them, stripping away the noise of the world, tuning their ear to his voice, so that when they meet you, they'll recognize not just your beauty, but your anointing. They'll honor not just your presence, but your process. Because it takes one who's been through fire to appreciate gold. This is not about finding someone who makes you feel good. This is about discovering someone who pulls the purpose out of you. Someone whose prayers sound like your vision. Someone who knows that marriage is not just about love, but about legacy. Together, you'll build what neither of you could have built alone. Not just a home, but a sanctuary. Not just a future, but a footprint in the earth that echoes eternity. It's time to shift how you see. You're not waiting for a partner. You're preparing to receive a destiny link, a pursuer you trust, a person who has been assigned to you not because you're desperate, but because you're destined. And that's why the wait had to be long enough to filter out the counterfeit, the noise, the illusions that looked like answers but lacked the weight of promise. Remember, Isaac didn't chase Rebekah. She was brought to him by divine appointment. Ruth didn't audition for Boaz. She just kept showing up in obedience. God knows how to bring the right person into your path when your heart is in position. Not perfect, but surrendered. Not performing, but aligned. That's what this season has been about. Not punishment, but posture. Not isolation. You where you trust, but intercession. You've been positioned for a connection that defies logic and answers to prophecy. And it's coming, not because you forced it, but because you were faithful. Heaven has already seen your union. Earth is about to catch up. So open your spirit. Loosen your grip on how you thought it would happen. Because what's coming will not match your list. It will surpass it. It will carry the scent of destiny. It will fit into your life, not as an addition, but as the missing piece of a puzzle only God could design. When it happens, you won't just feel love, you'll feel home. Because some hearts weren't made to find each other. They were made to return to each other. There comes a moment in every journey where the ground beneath your feet begins to shift. Not because you've lost your way, but because heaven is moving you forward. Not every movement in your life is meant to be explained. Some shifts aren't logical. They're spiritual. You may not have all the details, but deep down, something is stirring in your spirit. A sense that where you are now cannot hold what God is about to birth in you. This isn't just a relocation, it's a release. When God relocates, it's not about geography. It's about glory. It's not simply a change of scenery. It's a realignment of assignment. The Lord never moves people without purpose. From Abraham to Joseph, from Moses to Paul, every divine relocation was a prophetic transition, a holy replanting. And if you feel the pull to move, to shift, to pack up the familiar and walk into the unknown, it's not a passing thought. It's the echo of divine instruction. What you're sensing is not instability. It's invitation. Trust. God is expanding your territory because your current ground can no longer contain what He has placed within you. Sometimes the soil around you becomes too tight for the seed to fully grow. And in those moments, God doesn't just send rain. He sends a shovel. He uproots not to harm, but to replant you in a land that can receive the fullness of your calling. You've been faithful in this place. You've grown. You've served. But now the winds of heaven are shifting. The same way Elijah heard the sound of rain before a drop ever hit the earth. Where you trust, your spirit is hearing the sound of movement before your feet have begun to walk. That tension you feel isn't confusion. It's transition. It's the Spirit saying, get ready. It's time. And here's what many don't realize. Your relocation and your marriage are not separate events. They are connected moves in the same divine strategy. God is not just preparing your heart for love. He's preparing your location for legacy. There is a land where your union will thrive, where your gifts will multiply, where your future children will be rooted in promise. There is a city, a region, a space already marked for your arrival. And the relocation is heaven's way of placing you where the next chapter must unfold. Don't resist what feels unfamiliar. God rarely leads us into comfort zones. He leads us into covenant zones, places where his voice becomes louder than our fears, places where faith must be our compass, not convenience. That's why some doors have recently closed. That's why the ground around you feels tight. That's why what once gave you peace now gives you restlessness. The cloud is moving. And you were never meant to camp in a place God only called you to pass through. Think about the Israelites. When the cloud moved, they moved. If they stayed behind, they missed the manna. They missed the miracle. The provision wasn't attached to their comfort. It was attached to their obedience. And the same is true for you. There are blessings prepared in the next location that will not manifest where you currently are. There are divine appointments waiting on the other side of your yes. This move may stretch you. It may cost you. It may not make sense to your friends, your family, or even to your past self. But when God speaks, the only safe answer is obedience. You're not being moved for survival. You're being moved for impact, for multiplication, for fulfillment. The ground you're standing on was only meant to be your preparation floor, not your final stage. And yes, it will be scary. Every true calling is. But fear is not a sign to retreat. It's a sign to lean in. Because what's on the other side of your movement is the promise you've been praying for. The relationship, the open door, the favor, the expansion. The purpose you felt, but couldn't quite articulate. It's waiting for you in the land God is calling you to. Don't confuse stillness with safety. Staying where you are may feel secure, but if God is no longer in it, it will begin to dry up. The brook that once fed Elijah ran dry, not because God had forgotten him, but because God was ready to feed him in a new place through a new method. So if your resources are dwindling, if the atmosphere feels tight, if the joy is fading, it may not be warfare. It may be instruction. Your partner is not just tied to your timeline. They're tied to your movement. And when you move in obedience, the encounter is accelerated. What's been delayed becomes divine. What felt far becomes near. Because when you align with heaven, time bows to obedience. So take the step, even if you can't see the full map. God isn't calling you to understand. He's calling you to trust. The place He's leading you to holds more than just a new zip code. It holds destiny. Because when heaven says move, it's not about changing location. It's about stepping into the land where your promise already lives. This union you're stepping into, it is not ordinary. It is not casual. It is not the result of convenience or emotion or fleeting passion. It has been crafted in the secret chambers of eternity, shaped by the wisdom of the Ancient of Days, and now it is being revealed on earth as it was already established in heaven. This is not just a relationship. This is a kingdom appointment. You see, the world has diluted the meaning of marriage into a contract of compatibility, a checklist of common interests, and a transaction of needs. But what God is doing in your life is far deeper, far holier. This is a covenant, a divine joining, a sacred merging of two assignments, two callings, two anointings, not for comfort, but for impact, not to simply make you happy, but to make you holy and make the world shake with the echo of your union. Some marriages are for survival, others are for companionship, but this marriage, this one, is for legacy. The kind of union that alters generations, that reclaims bloodlines, that heals what others in your lineage couldn't. This is a restoration move, a redemptive move. This is not about two people falling in love. This is about two flames becoming one fire. And that fire, oh, that fire will consume everything that is not rooted in eternity. That's why the wait was long. That's why the process felt endless. That's why you had to be broken open, emptied, reshaped, and rebuilt. Because you are being trusted with something rare, something sacred. This is not the kind of love that fits into the patterns of this world. It doesn't imitate culture. It mirrors the covenant between Christ and His bride, selfless, sacrificial, supernatural. When God joins two people for His glory, He joins not just personalities, but destinies. Your calling will stretch theirs. Their prayers will cover your purpose. Your combined obedience will break chains in others. You won't just love each other. You'll activate each other. You'll become a sign and a wonder, not only of what love can look like, of what heaven can accomplish through two surrendered vessels. That's why your healing was required. That's why your pruning was non-negotiable. God could not allow you to walk into this appointment wounded, reactive, or bound. He had to strip you of your illusions, burn away the idols, and sanctify your understanding of love. Because He didn't want you to fall for potential. He wanted you to partner with purpose, and purpose always demands purity, not just of action, but of intention. God has been testing your heart, refining your desires, not to deprive you, but to distinguish you, so that when this person arrives, you won't be distracted by surface. You'll recognize substance. You'll see not just their face, but their oil, not just their presence, but their posture before God. And in that moment, something in your spirit will whisper, "This is the one I have prayed for. This is the one heaven prepared for me." You'll know, not because they say the right things or look the right way, but because your purpose will begin to steer. Your gifts will rise to meet theirs. Your peace will increase in their presence. And above all, your connection will awaken worship. It will draw you closer to the throne, not pull you further from it. This is how you know it's kingdom. It multiplies your obedience. It amplifies your calling. It sharpens your vision. It matures your character. It's not just butterflies and excitement. It's discernment and confirmation. It's the kind of love that speaks with authority because it was born in intercession. Don't reduce this to feelings. Don't measure it by timelines. God is not rushing this. He is perfecting it. And when it comes, it will come swiftly, but not chaotically. It will come clearly, but not loudly. It will come peacefully, undeniably, divinely. Like the moment when the Spirit descended like a dove, it will rest upon you. No striving, no second guessing, just the weight of glory that says, this is holy, this is mine. And together, you will not only walk hand in hand, you will walk in power. You will serve as one voice, one body, one force. You'll look back and realize that every closed door, every heartbreak, every delay was heaven preserving this moment. Because this wasn't just about who you would marry. It was about who you would become when you did. This isn't just love. This is alignment. This is assignment. Because when heaven joins two purposes, it's never just a wedding. It's a divine awakening. Some things don't arrive with noise. They arrive with knowing, not in thunder, but in revelation. And this what you must understand about the season you're stepping into. This moment is not the beginning. It's the unveiling. The divine thread has already been woven. You are not stumbling into love, into movement, into marriage, or into purpose. You are stepping into what was always there, just waiting for the veil to be lifted. Heaven doesn't operate on human timelines. It operates on fulfillment. And while you've been measuring your life by what hasn't happened yet, God has been measuring it by what's already complete in His realm, waiting only for the appointed time to be revealed on earth. That's what this moment is. A divine revealing, the manifestation of a design that predates your doubt, your delays, your detours. You have not missed it. You're right on time. There is someone whose name is already written in the folds of your story. Someone who has been moving, growing, becoming, just as you have, beneath the surface, out of sight, but never out of sync. And now, like two rivers that have traveled miles apart only to meet in one sacred current, your paths are converging, not by coincidence, but by covenant. And when you meet them, it won't be a grand announcement. It won't require striving or forcing or begging for signs. It will feel like walking into a room you've never seen before and somehow knowing exactly where everything is. Their presence will not be overwhelming. It will be familiar. Their words won't need to impress you. They will resonate in your spirit like a language you once spoke in a dream, because your souls remember what your minds are just now catching up to. This isn't fantasy. This is alignment. So often we chase clarity with anxiety. We beg for direction, for confirmation, for visible proof. But when something is God ordained, it doesn't demand performance. It invites peace. The kind of peace that silences the noise around you and amplifies the still, small voice within you. The kind of peace that doesn't shout, "This is the one," but simply whispers, "I am home." This is what happens when you walk in rhythm with the Spirit. You begin to see beyond faces. You begin to feel legacy before it speaks. You sense purpose before it even unfolds. Because your spirit, sharpened in silence, trained in the waiting, begins to recognize what heaven has hidden until now. This is not about finally being good enough. This is about finally being still enough to perceive what's always been written. You are not meeting a stranger. You are reuniting with a destiny already ordained. And this is why the journey was so intense. This is why the heartbreaks were permitted. Why the counterfeits were exposed. Why the silence felt so loud. Because you had to be emptied of every imitation to recognize the authentic. You had to be purified by fire so that when the real thing appeared, you wouldn't question it. You would discern it. This love won't demand you to prove yourself. It will call you to be yourself. Not the version you perform for people. You where you trust. The version heaven formed when you were knit together in your mother's womb. This kind of recognition doesn't come through logic. It comes through alignment. When the time is right, the encounter will feel inevitable. Your paths won't collide in chaos. They'll merge in harmony. Like puzzle pieces that didn't make sense until now. You'll look back and realize every sharp edge was carved for a reason. Every jagged turn, every lonely valley, every unanswered prayer. It all led to this divine intersection. So do not be afraid of what you feel rising in your spirit. The pull toward new land. The stirring for connection. The stillness before the unveiling. It's all part of the divine choreography. Heaven has not forgotten you. Heaven has been preparing you. And now, heaven is revealing. You're not searching anymore. You're remembering. You're awakening to the beauty that was always meant for you. Not because you earned it. Not because you manipulated the timing. But because God, in His mercy, never stopped writing your story. Even when you thought the pen had run dry. This next chapter will not be written in ink. It will be written in glory, in clarity, in peace. And when your eyes finally meet theirs, you'll understand. Not everything holy comes with thunder. Some things just arrive and everything inside you knows. Because when God reveals what was always yours, it won't just make sense. It will make you whole.